Hello, hello, hello. I hope everyone is doing well. It is day 5 of 21 for 21 days of celebration. I am, I'm actually a lot tired. A lot tired right now. Just got out of the car, almost like 3.5+ hours on the road to get back home today from Bristol. And I have to say, like, this is solidified that I do not like traffic. I do not like bad drivers, and I have very strong opinions about what a good and a bad driver are. So I need to say that, like, I could have a driving rant for a long time. Um, but alas, we are grateful for safe arrivals, just like I said the other day. And yeah, it's been a good, interesting day. A couple of things happened this morning where I was like, "You've got to be kidding me!" But taking it all in stride, had a good day, made it home safely, so we're not complaining. So, day 5. I am grateful today for fear. You're probably like, fear? Why would someone be grateful for fear? Like, that doesn't make any sense. Hear me out. So, I've had an interesting relationship with fear my entire life. I think most of us have an interesting relationship with fear. When we think fear, we think, okay, well, I'm afraid of something, so therefore I should not do that thing. Well, what is driving the rationale behind the should or should not? Like, that's kind of the big question. Like, what actually dictates whether it's good reason to be afraid of something or not? And this kind of brings up, like, the concept of fight or flight, and how kind of us as humans are wired for survival. So when something seems fearful for us or elicits a fearful response, we are afraid. We kind of automatically, our bodies go into that fight or flight, and it's like, oh crap, I gotta, fight for my life, or something bad is gonna happen, and it's literally a life or death situation. And the adrenaline gets pumping, the cortisol gets pumping, the blood flows to your extremities, and you are ready to go. Your body thinks, okay, well, it could be as dire as a literal life and death situation. It could be you're in the forest and a bear is about to chase you, so oh crap, I have to run. Or it could be, I need to make a really difficult decision, or I need to make a decision on something I've never done before and it's really scary. I'm not sure what to do. I feel afraid. In both senses, we feel afraid, but one is a life or death, the other is not a life or death, but the body reacts in the same manner because we are feeling that feeling of fear. So, my relationship with fear, like I said, has been kind of my entire life, and it has evolved as I have evolved over the years, thank goodness. But I've realized that I've at some point been afraid of everything, like literally life itself, living, being seen, being heard, just you name it. Like, those are kind of the primary things: the being seen, the being heard, hurting someone's feelings, like afraid of that. I could kind of talk all day about kind of conditional love, unconditional love, programming, and relationships between the narcissist and the empath, and kind of those types of labels. I've got all of that covered, like life experience checked off. But what has kind of centered around everything is the willingness or unwillingness to deal with the fear, and to either see it for what it is, act through it, persevere, kind of move through and know that you're not actually going to be chased by the bear and eaten, or excuse me, you can kind of just sit with it and do nothing, like actually let it paralyze you. Most of my life I actually did the latter. I let it paralyze me, and I can't think of the number of opportunities I missed out on, the number of, relationships that I could have had with, friends and other people, the things that I could have avoided had fear not gotten in the way. So many things, like the growth and possibility that could have been possible had I had the tools that I have now to be able to see fear for what it is and not actually be that life or death that my brain has programmed me and us to think. We think it's going to hurt us in some manner because it is foreign and therefore we are afraid. It's fine, but we need to consciously be able to differentiate between what is safe and what is actually unsafe. There's a couple of really, I don't want to say profound, but things that I always think back to when I think about my fear journey. So there's 3 things that I think about. One of them is reading Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. And in that book, it's an amazing book, but it's one of the books that I read kind of at the beginning of my kind of, I don't want to say spiritual journey, but I read it a few years ago, around like the 2017, 2016 time frame. And there's a part in the book where she kind of paints this picture of a like a sports arena. And I don't remember if it was a specific sport, but it's generally a sports arena. And she's kind of describing the situation, and it's, are you the person who is sitting in the stands watching others live their life on the court, or are you the one that's on the court living your life? And reading that part, I was like, you know what? I'm actually in the stands. Like, I'm very comfortably in the stands. I've got my seat cushion, like, one of those special, like, upgraded stadium seats. I've got the seat cushions, I'm comfortable, I've got my snacks, I've got my drink, and I'm chilling watching everybody else live their life on the court, like on the court of life. And it really got me to think about all the things, again, that either I had missed out on, held myself back on, or, did when I maybe shouldn't have done. But like that kind of section really got me. Plus, as a former athlete, like the on the court, off the court, that got me as well. I could resonate with that. So that's one thing that really kind of got me thinking about fear, because I had to think about why I was in the stands versus on the court. And the real reason was fear. And then I had to start digging into, well, what am I actually afraid of? The answer actually comes after the second example. So the second thing that always comes to mind when I think of fear is a challenge that I did in like the 2017, 2018 time frame. That was a jam-packed few years for me. And I was doing like a mastermind coaching thing, and one of the challenges, like one of the homework challenges, was to do a Facebook Live, like on your personal Facebook page, about one thing that you wanted to see change in the world. And the first thing that came to mind was, oh crap, I can't do that. Like I can't go live. I can't, what if someone doesn't like what I have to say? People are gonna see me. They're gonna judge me whether they like what I have to say or not. What if I stumble? What if that was death to me. Like, go ahead and just put me on the stake and start lighting the flames. That's what that was for me. And I felt every single emotion and belief and like everything I had about being seen and being judged and being liked and accepted and all of those things and so much more. I experienced that fully and wholly in my body, and that was fear. So I actually waited till like, it was a Sunday afternoon because we had like class like on a Monday, I think. It was a Sunday afternoon and like the lighting in my old apartment was getting bad, and I had to do it before the sun went down because of the lighting and the angles and like all these things. So I waited literally to the last minute, and I finally got on, and I talked about fear. I talked about wanting to see fear change and for people to not be as afraid to either step up or pursue their dreams. And I talked about how fear helps us and hurts us, but it's there for a reason, and it's something that we kind of just have to work through. And the whole time that I was doing this, it was literally like 3 minutes. The whole time I was doing this, like my hand was shaking because I was holding my phone, and my hand was shaking, and I closed the live and I just broke down crying, like boo-hoo, ugly cry for easily 10 minutes. And I had to realize that I had faced a very big fear of mine, kind of like being seen in a public arena. I faced a big fear, but it really was being seen. There was the being seen, the judgment, having my voice be heard, like having it actually be my thoughts and my perspectives on something versus, just saying something that someone else had come up with. Like it was actually my original thought, and I didn't know how it would be perceived. And that really mattered to me. And I was terrified, like literally shaking and crying. And I got really positive results. Like I got really positive feedback from it. I got the satisfaction of completing the challenge. So I'll say don't challenge me because I've got a competitive nature and I will likely accept your challenge. But it felt good to be challenged and then step up to the plate and actually do it, because I learned so much about myself in that moment of where the fear was coming from, how it felt, that I didn't die as a result. I'm still here, and that was like 3 or 4 years ago. And it was okay. But I let fear be my topic because that was actually what I was working through, and it ended up being helpful. And the third thing that I think about when the topic of fear comes up, and this is something that I have to constantly remind myself of, particularly when I'm in times where I am now, where it's kind of trying to step into new ways of being. So I did Landmark Personal Development. It's an amazing set of programs and seminars and classes that are offered kind of around the globe, but it's all for really good purposes, personal development. And there is a section that they do in one of the major foundational programs on fear. So the leader kind of has a chair up on the stage, and they say this chair represents fear, like all the fears that you have about a certain topic. And the chair is kind of in the middle of the stage, right in front of the leader. And they say, why are you letting the fear get in the way of you actually getting on the other side of that chair? And it's like all the reasons and excuses and, things that come up that we find a reason to not do the things that actually, light us up and get us to move further. So then, in the simplest of forms, they say the fear is never going to go away. Like with any decision you have, it's likely always going to be there in some form. So you have to learn to see it for what it is, talk to it, work with it, make it your friend, set it to the side, and then go about your task. So for me, the visual is what really solidifies the message. It's the visual of seeing the chair in front of the person, impeding the progress from A to B, and then physically taking the chair, consciously recognizing the chair as the fear, saying, hey, I see you. I'm not going to let you have the power over me. I'm going to set you aside, still knowing that you're there on the side, but I'm going to let you be on the side because I'm trying to get to B. And the first time I saw that, it was extremely powerful for me because I needed the visual, but it sounded so simple. And actually it can be that simple if we allow ourselves to understand what the fear is about. So the journey from there to here for me has been a healthy relationship with fear, having a healthy relationship with fear and saying, okay, cool, thank you for presenting yourself, because on some level something is afraid of what's going to happen if we go to this, new level. For so many years I saw the fear and just stopped. And recently in the last few years that has not been the case. It's been seeing the chair, seeing the fear, saying, hey, what's up? What would you like to talk about? What would you like to show me? Okay, cool, not that relevant. I'm going to set you off to the side, knowing that you're still there. You can hang out here if you want to, but I'm going to be moving forward over there. And that's been really helpful, because being able to check in, like, internally, what is this about? Am I actually going to be eaten by the bear or the lion or the tiger? No. Is my life actually at stake? No. Is, the judgment of someone in a comment really going to ruin my life? Probably not. It might hurt my feelings a little bit. Not likely. But being able to see what the fear is about, and then being able to diffuse any charge to it by saying, you know what, I actually am okay. Like, what's the worst that could actually happen here? So I'm grateful for fear today, because I've had several ideas that I have not done because of fear. I've had all the reasons. I've had lots of imposter syndrome. I've had just excuses and reasons and all sorts of things for not doing several of the ideas that I've had for things in life and things in business. And yesterday and today, so yesterday, as the reminder of who I am, came the realization of all these things that I am the chair. I am the chair standing in the way. Like, I need to put my ego aside, because that's actually where the fear is coming from. It's the ego trying to protect us from, destruction. But being able to say, you know what, you're in your own way. Your intuition is not driving you to the wrong point. Just do the thing. Just do the thing and just see what happens. Because you're having the thought, you're having the feeling, you're having the idea, you're stumbling upon, the ad, or you're stumbling upon whatever for a reason. Like, the synchronicity is popping up for a reason. So say hello to the fear. Say, do you have anything to share with me? And then keep it moving. Like, set it off to the side, because it's not going to go anywhere. And the small actions that I've been taking, which actually feel really big, because, that whole being seen, being heard, being judged, being liked, being accepted, like, all those things are still, they're still inside. All of that is still there, but being able to push past that and say, you know what, this feels right now, so I need to try this, despite the fear, because the bear, the lion, the tiger, the whatever are not here. I'm not going to be burned at the stake. I hope not. I think we're pretty safe. Just try it, because it's there for a reason. So the fear lets you know that there could potentially be something that you're afraid of, or to threaten you, but it's likely there because you're nearing uncharted territory, and that is scary. But again, your brain, your ego, potentially subconscious, don't know the difference between bear and, putting your content on the internet. If it's the same fear response, your body, your ego, all your systems are going to react the same way. So for me, now with this realization, it is very important to remember my training, remember what I talk to my clients about, remember all the times where I have stared the fear in the face and done the activity anyway and been okay. It's remembering that I'm having the feeling for a reason, and if I'm going to, fully align with all that I'm here to do and be in this lifetime, then that's going to result in some different actions than what I am used to today. And that's scary. But that's okay because it's just new-ish. It's new. So I'm grateful for the fear because it's confirmation that I'm being asked to step up. It's confirmation that I'm being asked to do something new and different and more expansive than where I am today, because what I'm supposed to be doing is massively and just amazingly more expansive than I can even see right now. I'm following the breadcrumbs, or I see the breadcrumbs. Fear has kind of slowed me down in picking up the breadcrumbs and processing, but I'm seeing the breadcrumbs and I'm taking action a little faster now, because I know something better, bigger, more amazing is on the other side. So I'm seeing that chair and I'm saying, you know what? I know something bigger, something better, something greater is on the other side. I'm going to see you and I'm going to acknowledge you. I'm not going to let you run the show. I'm going to set you aside because I'm in control here. Period. So that is why I am grateful for fear today, because I've had so many reminders of, the big crazy ideas that I haven't let myself adopt. I haven't let myself explore in many instances. And it's all been because of fear, but it's fear of growth, it's fear of the unknown and new territory, it's fear of judgment, it's fear of how it will be received, but I have to be okay with that. And that's kind of part of the territory as well, because I learn and grow when people give me feedback. So, fear, yeah. Tell me about your relationship with fear. How does any of this resonate? Do you have a healthy relationship with fear? Are you able to celebrate and be grateful for fear? I would like to know if we're in the same boat. Are you embarking on something amazing and great and you've got fear like nagging in your ear? Let me know. Let me know that I'm not alone in this. All right, fear is our topic today. I have no clue what our topic's going to be tomorrow, but I'm sure it'll be good. I hope you have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow. I hope you take care.